Hegelian argument. The idea is that there's a sort of dialectic, and that ideas reveal themselves, and rather than the nation-state being the end of history, liberal democracy is the end of history. I think that argument was understandable in its historical context. I think it was understandable in the year 1989, and I'm sympathetic to people who think that way, but I don't think that way myself, and I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. Huntington. So the late Samuel Huntington was one of my teachers, and when I interviewed for a fellowship with Sam Huntington, we had a long argument about Ukraine, because in his book, The Clash of Civilizations, there was a civilizational line that went through Ukraine, and I argued that you can't divide Ukraine that way, that it's much murkier, and if you draw a line on that map, you're predicting the future in a way that's going to turn out to be wrong. I want to say just that to Sam Huntington's credit, even the very fact that I disagreed with him was one of the reasons that he liked me, which made him a good scholar. I mean, he's one who was willing to listen to dispute. So I do think that civilization is perfectly real as an ideal type, but I don't think that it's real as a fixed historical entity. I think civilizations are always being penetrated, mutually penetrating, changing themselves faster than we can even realize. And if you want to talk about, Ukrainian civilization, I think Ukrainian civilization in 2014 is rather different than Ukrainian civilization even in 2004, let alone 1994 or 1904. So I think these cultural entities have a certain coherence, but they also change very quickly, and they change as a result of individual action, which is where I come down. I accept. So I disagree with Fukuyama. I do not think that history is unfolding in this direction. But I do think that liberal democracy is a kind of civilization. That is, I don't think it's a natural result of history. I do think it is a kind of civilization. It's not the truth, but it is a kind of civilization. And I think it's a kind of, and this is where I'm a bit like Huntington, I think it's a kind of civilization that if you believe in it, you have to argue for it, and you have to fight for it, precisely because it doesn't come by itself, right? So this vision of history, which I'm arguing for, it's a liberal vision of history. It's a pluralistic, liberal, individualistic version of history. I recognize there are others, but I'm going to fight for mine because I think mine is better. So I think to be a liberal actually is to be in a kind of combat all the time. It's not something. Liberal democracy is not something that history is going to bring you.
Мене як історика найбільше цікавить, як